Imagine sacrificing everything for your football dream, only to discover that it was all a lie. Fake agents, bogus trials, and clubs that take your money without ever an intention of signing you. It's happening every single day and nobody is talking about it. Today, I'm exposing the dark side of football, how players just like you are getting scammed, the red flags that you need to watch out for, and how to make sure that you don't become the next victim. Picture this, a young 17-year-old Aussie is playing NPL, he's playing under 18, performing, but quickly realizing that the pathway up is blocked because most senior setups are built for senior players that are experienced, can deliver consistent results, and not to develop youngsters that are trying to move up. So he pleads with his dad for what alternatives he might have in his football career. And well, his dad asks a friend of a friend, and after a referral of a referral, a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, this kid finds himself on a one-way trip to Spain in order to pursue his dreams. Only to realize later that he was bamboozled by some old guy that simply just has an academy overseas with no real connection and was scammed out of thousands of dollars of his own money and his parents' money. Because this guy had no real exposure and no direct connections. Sound familiar? Well, it does for me because that player is me. That's my story. That was me 9 years ago. That was my reality. And I vowed 9 years ago to become the solution to a problem that affects thousands and thousands of players every year. And essentially the agency that you see today, Elite Football, was created. Now, I'll touch a bit on the first point, which is how these scams work, but I think everyone should probably go see one of my last videos on the 3 biggest scams in football, where I actually touch on a bit more in depth on these scams. Particularly, right? I'm going to talk about other stuff in this video, but basically there's a few of them. You've got fake agents who promise you trials and don't really have the right connections and are just putting you in clubs that there is no pathway up. They just really sell an experience and nothing else. So even if you're really good and you're good enough, being in this environment doesn't matter anyways, right? No one actually wants to make money off you in the future. To give you an example of how many fake agents there are, in my recent trip to Spain, literally 8 weeks ago I was there, I actually had one dinner and another coffee date with 2 separate agents, right? And it was part of my plan of starting to communicate with other agents in the industry. I don't really do much communications at all with agents because I don't believe in sharing, middleman stuff or whatever, but it was part of my initiative of trying to get other connections because we're planning with Elite Football to move into the professional department in the next few years, right? And I'm just sort of prefixing that. So had coffee date, had a dinner date or whatever with these different guys. And these are people that if you saw their Instagrams, I saw some of the people that were following them, I saw the referrals and I thought, they look like they know what they're doing. They look like they've got enough money. They look like they've built, some individual thing, right? No big company like Elite Football, but they have their sort of individual setup. Looked believable even to me. And it wasn't until I sat down at this coffee date with this guy and I started asking him sort of certain questions and, like the audacity of this dude, he gave me basically the number of a guy that I know in the industry that is an absolute scammer. Like he gave me the whole spiel like, oh, I want to help you. Of course, no one helps me, when I first got started or whatever. I don't know why he was talking like that. I make 10x what he does and help way more people, but whatever. And he sort of, yeah, I'm going to help you with the professional side of things. It's definitely a different ball game. Like you're right, blah, 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 blah. And he gave me the number of this guy who is like absolute scammer, like in the industry, like the football industry is very small. Everyone knows everyone, right? And little things like that, and not being able to tell me how he makes his money or what was the certain ways of he makes money or what his players get, that sort of stuff. And it made me realize that there is so many more people pretending to be way bigger than they are because that's how they sell or that's how they survive with a little play here and there, and really they're surviving on like these semi-pro players that they sort of take sort of 50% of what they can get them, and they're not really providing any value to people. So even with me, it was a shock to my system where I was like, wow, even these guys are full of shit. The other guy, to give you an example, I went to dinner with this guy and like I was all relaxed, backwards cap, whatever, like shirt is what it is, and he came into a full suit to dinner and I was like, okay, big businessman over here, and we started talking and it's the same thing, like these these people that dress up in like to the nines, like full suit, and they try to pretend to be this person that they're not even. They don't even know who they are. They're nothing. They're broke. They have no money. They've built nothing. They've got no connections to any clubs. They sell you this dream and they go, yeah, I know this guy and I know that guy, and yeah, it's all about connections, it's all about networking, it's all about whatever. It's like, no. It's all about actually providing value and doing the right thing, right? And I tell these stories because I want you to be aware that even I fall for it. Like, even I see people that are trying to make their image out to be perfect, and it's just not. They have nothing. They did no foundation work. They have one connection, one person or whatever, and they ride that wave. And a lot of these people that you see, they have regular jobs, most of them, or they're hiring cars and this and that to make themselves look bigger, and it's just not right. I'm pretty open about the fact that, you know, elite football, we do make a lot of money, but we make money with other stuff that we do. Not that you guys don't actually see any of the stuff that we actually do to make proper money. Like, our company grows primarily on the work that we do with clubs. Secondary, more as a passion thing, we are growing the player representation, the amateur side of the company, trying to get as many amateurs signed as possible. And I'm pretty open about that, especially when I talk with these agents or whatever, but they just can't compete with it. They don't actually have anything to show for it, right? So what you see and what they actually have, nothing. Even I know people that they represent one La Liga player, right? So like they ride the wave of this like big name and they have no other clients, and that's their life. That's it. But that player will retire and they'll have nothing again because they suck. Like, they're idiots. I've had dinner with them. I've had lunch. I've met people like this and they have no idea what they're doing. These guys are just lucky that I don't have the time to set up the professional department. But when we do, we're going to take it by storm because they provide no value because they don't know how to provide value, right? It's all a fugazi. So keep that in mind. A lot of people show you the image. There's nothing behind the image, okay? Again, academies overseas that are just pay to play money pits. There is no reason any of you should be flying overseas to be training at an academy. No reason. There is no reason. None of this BS of like, oh, train with me, I'll prepare you for 2-3 months and then I'll send you to proper trials. Bullshit. Just send me the trials straight away. There's no reason anyone should be doing that. The licensing, careful with people, random people that will license the name. This is just random. Barca Academy, Villarreal Academy, right? Like, whatever it is, just fully random names, right? These people are just licensing. They're paying the club 10,000 euros, 20,000 euros, whatever it is per year to use their licensing to have a brand, right? So they're not doing the foundational work to make their own brand and to actually build something of value. They're piggybacking off some club's name so the kids can wear the kits and it looks like it's the club and whatever, and it looks like they're getting the training and the proper stuff, and they're not, because it's some random guy doing all the work, right? And it's the same thing. When you go overseas, it's Barca Academy. It has nothing to do with Barca, and that's how they get you. So be careful with that. And that's across all European clubs. Be careful. At the end of the day, if you stop watching this video now, just know that no one can promise you anything, right? If anyone, regardless of what it is promising that they're going to get you a contract or they're going to get you a scholarship, or if you give them X amount of time, they can do X, Y, Z, they are full of shit. No one can promise you jack in this industry, not even us. And most players are just emotionally manipulated, right? Because you want this dream so bad. And I was in your shoes. You want it so bad that you will eat whatever you see and you will eat the words someone tells you because you want to believe that, right? And they sell you hope, right? They sell you hope, and hope is expensive when you're desperate. But enough of my yapping on that, because I can talk about this all day. Let's talk about the red flags to watch out for, right? There is a few key ones I want you to sort of keep in the back of your head. When you're researching, when you're looking at agents, academies, whatever it is you're trying to get to, here are some red flags. Someone that doesn't have any club partnerships. They're not posting about it, or if it's just a photo and it looks a bit sus or whatever, like the reason I like to make videos of it is to really show you like, hey, you know, we're here, we're around, everything, whatever, right? People that just post, oh, I got this club partnership, and they're too broke to fly over and actually snap a photo or whatever, you probably shouldn't be going with them. People that have no track record of players signing. This is like an obvious one, but unfortunately, look, everyone has to start somewhere. There was a time when I had no signed players. You got to start somewhere. But admittedly, those players had a bad experience with us because we didn't really know what we were doing. And unfortunately, I didn't serve those players as good as I'm serving the players that are coming and joining elite football now. And that's just how the cookie crumbles, you know? And in 5 years' time, I'll look back and go, damn, look how much better we are at servicing and how much better we got at the game. And that's just how it is. But you want to be going to people that have a track record, you know, because the truth is, if they don't, you're going to be part of their first mistakes. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. I'm being brutally honest here. The other thing is busy agents, right? Agents that avoid communication, or they're too busy to explain things to you, right? Like, that's a red flag. If you are not liking how the support feels around you, if you feel like there's enough people to actually help you, or if they have the time to help you before you even pay them anything, guarantee that when you pay them something, it'll be worse. So make sure that it's high before you pay, because when you pay, it's going to drop naturally, right? I'm going to go more in depth in some of these, so I don't want to talk too much now. Buzzwords. People that say opportunity, pathway, showcase, this, that. It's tied with the tours. It's like 2-week tour here. 2-week tours, no one's going to say, no one's going to make a decision at all in 2 weeks. It's not going to happen. Come to my 5-day UK camp. Are you stupid, right? You think you're going to have a little 5-day experience in UK and get seen by scouts? Like, it is, do you know how much it annoys me? Because we spend so much money in our events, flying proper coaches overseas, right? Flying proper coaches, paying clubs, paying my EFA internal team to like be there at the events or whatever, like fully set up and try to provide as much value as we can at our cheapest tickets. And I see other people that literally are posting, and they flew like 4 or 5 of them, and they're calling themselves scouts, and it just looks like a group of 5 of their boys, and they just flew them in and that's it, you know, and they're calling themselves scouts. And it's just like, you've brought no one. You've done nothing. Amazing that they still get people that attend, but come on, like, be smarter. Like, have a proper look at who people are bringing in, right? Or like going over somewhere to be seen by scouts. Bruh, just go straight, go direct. Get someone that can just promise you direct access to the club. Anyways, academies is a big one. There is thousands, it's flooded. People want to train. This is like the lowest cost barrier of entry. Like, if you want to start something in the football world, you're going to pitch up a tent, you're going to call yourself a coach, and you're going to train people and it's an academy, and then you'll find yourself, they start doing tours, they start doing this, that, they start calling themselves an agent. Like, it's the most common thing, right? Just be careful with it. Then there's other stuff like people that sell you this program here, this program there, like yada yada, like people that, you know, I know a guy that sells you this 50k program or whatever, calls himself an agent, and part of that program is testing your hair to see if you genetically are missing some nutrient or whatever, yada yada. Like, they value stack their programs to just get to squeeze as much money as they can out of you, because they can't actually deliver on anything else. They can't actually deliver on anything tangible. They go, yeah, do this training program, I'll prepare you and let me get you these tests and whatever. No. Whatever you do, whether you're wanting the extra training, whether you want to go overseas, whatever, just make sure that you are going to someone where their whole dedication is the one thing. If you want to go overseas, go to someone that's just an agent. If you want to get trained by a coach here for extra training session, go to a coach who does nothing but coach players. It's almost like, literally, it's almost like if you are going to go get food and you have a hankering for sushi, right? You're not going to go to a place that sells sushi, kebabs, and pizzas. Probably not, because all 3 are going to be probably mediocre. You're going to go to the sushi train that does nothing but sushi and that has everyone from Japan, right? Because you know you're going to get the best sushi there, because that's all they do, all day, every day. Do you know what I mean? This is the same thing. Whatever you do, whatever area you want to focus in, just make sure it's the place that does the one thing that you're wanting to do, right? Common sense. So why are these scams so common? There is a lot of reasons. Players are underserved. There's a lot of players and not enough people serving them in certain areas. There is no current global standard or governing body actually tracking these malpractices. Yes, of course, there's FIFA and things like that, but a lot of the times, like, they've got no jurisdiction. At the end of the day, like, any company, any whatever, can do whatever they want. You don't actually have to have any license. You don't have to do anything. You can sign a contract to a player and they can sign their life away to you, and FIFA can't do jack. Like, at the end of the day, it's just one party and another party, right? Parents, at the end of the day, just don't know what to look for as well. There's no blueprint on, hey, these are the steps you need to follow, or this is what your child specifically needs. And no one really plays the truth game in telling them, hey, we actually can't serve you, you know? At the end of the day, the industry is flooded with people trying to to make a quick buck. And at the end of the day, the lowest barrier of entry is to start up an academy. It's to sell you a tour. It's to yada, 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 right? Like, I want you guys to understand that this is the most competitive industry in the entire world. Joining the football industry in whatever shape or form, when you're wanting to be the best in whatever it is, whether it's a coach, agency, physio, player, whatever, it is the most competitive industry in the world. Everything I do in my day-to-day, managing my team, dealing with players, talking to clubs, it's all easy. But do you know how hard it was for me to build this name, this agency, the contracts and connections that we have in place? 7 years, solid 50 hours a week plus, building a foundation. 7 years of absolute groundwork, and times that by 2 because I did it with my dad. So what I want is for you watching this, whether you're a player or a parent, I want you to change your perspective and ask yourself, what is in it for them? Money makes the world go around, right? So why is X person trying to sell you X product? What really is their intention? You know, I'm not against people making money whatsoever. I'm not cheap, you know, we're the biggest agency in Australia and we're definitely not the cheapest. What I'm against is people selling you a service that doesn't exist. And amateur players, unfortunately, do have to pay their ways overseas. There's just no way around it, right? However, the bare minimum in this industry is placing players directly with access to clubs. Like, put in directly with the professional clubs and clubs that have an actual pathway up for them should they be successful. And people should be honest about timeframes and possibilities, but the majority of people can't even do that because ultimately they're lazy. They have no idea what they're doing and they don't care about you. Most agents and academies aren't even doing it full time. They are a school teacher or whatever, and on the side they're running this academy, on the side they're an agent. And the opposite of that, the few people that are actually doing it full time, they're trying to manage everything themselves. Of course, they're going to give you a shit service. They're going to shove a shit service down your throat because they pocket everything and they don't invest anything back into the actual service. I've currently have a team of 8 in elite football, a team of main 8 people, right? We have other people doing other work and we're still playing catch up with demand. And to be honest, unfortunately, I still have some things that leak through our system. So if someone like me, I take a step back and I look and I'm constantly trying to build a better team to then provide a better service for anyone that joins elite football, imagine the shitty service that you are getting or you could get with someone that is the one guy or the 2 guys that are trying to do everything themselves. Just be careful with that. So again, what should you look for instead? Well, the real partnership ones, as I mentioned for the red flags, clubs that are publicly shown and documented, 100%. You want, whether it's an agency, a mentor, a coach, whatever it is, you want people that are going to develop and service you over time, not just pitch a deal, hey, I'll flick you here and but forget about you kind of thing. An actual plan, a reason to be sending you to XYZ club because you've talked about what you're wanting and what you're needing for your future, what you're looking for, and not just sending you to this club because this is the only connection I have. You know, and look, with the results one, like I mentioned before, this one's tough because I understand you have to start somewhere. Every business, anyone trying to do anything big, you have to start somewhere. And you know what? I'm comfortable now and I take accountability looking back that the first few clients we had, I definitely failed them. I didn't know at the time I was failing them, obviously, but you don't know what you don't know. And even when you think you're providing the right service or doing the right thing by players, it still goes, you know, under the radar of what people actually deserve because you're just starting, right? Like, I mean, look, to defend myself a little bit, I did the work for free. When I first started, I didn't charge anyone for anything, but still it's their time that I can't give them back, right? So I say this now because if you're looking at these smaller agents that are individual or academies or whatever, 90% of them have no idea what they're doing. And well, it's because they probably need another 5 years to catch up. And most of them never will. I get asked from other agents that I thought were bigger than me how I make all the connections that we make. It mind blows me, right? But people aren't willing to actually do the hard work to help their clients because, well, it is hard. And like, look, what you can do with that is look at the agency growth. If you go on their socials, if you go on their website or whatever, if you keep tabs on agencies or academies or whatever, the good ones are going to grow and they're going to grow fast. And if you put a tab on them and you look at their last year and what they've done, that's going to give you a really good indication on whether they're going to be suitable for you or not. Because at the end of the day, the faster they grow, the more connections, the better they get, the better your service will be as you go along. You know, if you're a 12-year-old watching this, or if you're a dad that has a 12-year-old or something, basically you might give him 8, 10, 12 years, right, in this journey. And if you want to put all your eggs in one basket, you want to make sure that it's the basket that's actually going to give you something, right? Like if it's an agency that's consistently going to grow, the opportunities that your boy's going to have or girl is going to continually grow with that, right? Like I'm at a very comfortable level right now, but I know I'm going to be way bigger in 5 years, and that's just how it is, right? And I'll look back on certain stuff that I say now, and be like, damn, I can't believe I said all this on this video, but that's just how it is. Today, this is how I see things, and this is where I'm at, right? And a lot of the times, the people that you're looking at are so small that they have nothing to provide you. There's no real value there. So ultimately, with that being said, whatever horse you end up backing in this race is going to affect you. And then the other thing that you can check on with, this is a really easy one, I think, is the success stories, right? If people have testimonials, success stories, great. If they don't have any, well, run away, right? Like you do not want to. Free services cost you way more than an expensive service ever will when it's people that have no idea what they're doing, right? Because your time is invaluable, right? Like, please keep that in mind. Clients don't lie. They can't. If they are only promoting their successes, right, they are probably hiding a lot of garbage. That's another one. We post testimonials from players that were successful with us, but a lot of our testimonials actually are players that, you know, went and didn't get a contract or a scholarship, and we still post those testimonials because, well, it's real, and the majority of people aren't going to get a scholarship or a contract. And we're confident that even the ones that don't achieve a scholarship or a contract are still going to appreciate the effort and the work that we did in servicing them throughout their journey. And I would argue that there's not many agencies out there that would do the same thing. So do your research. Look, I have a lot of opinions on this. I obviously get very passionate about this stuff because it happened to me. And look, honestly, the thing that gets me up every day when there's a lot of hard stuff in this agency to work towards is that I'm really constantly chasing to be the person I wish I had when I was 17. And that version of me is still far away, but we're constantly building on it. And I couldn't be more proud of the work that we do with the agency. And look, we're not perfect, but we're real. So if you were interested in signing up with my agency, or you wanted to have a free consultation with one of my support agents, link will be down below. You can go to a website and have that chat. It's free of charge, and we can answer all the questions that you would like to ask. But ultimately, I don't do these videos for that, if they may seem inclined to that. Really, these videos are for the people that can't afford my services, that are looking and are gonna try and hit the wall with themselves, right? Like ultimately building the team around you is going to be better, because what I was mentioning about my team, you know, like I've got different people, the pathway of each player has 4 different people in elite football that are gonna touch base on their pathway, right? And it's all curated. Like when you go to a sushi restaurant, you have 4 different chefs in the kitchen, and the 4 of them are doing different things. So the guy that's focusing on cooking the rice is gonna cook the rice as perfectly as possible, right? The guy that's doing the seaweed is going to do the best thing for the seaweed, yada, 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 right? And I'm trying to build my agency the same way. And if you have the opportunity to sort of, you know, in your own life, hire someone to do your taxes or hire someone to do this or whatever, you're going to have a better outcome, obviously, right? But for those that can't afford my services, these videos, I hope, are a guideline, or more so a lifeline on what to do and what to avoid. If you're going to go out there on your own, you have my respect, just like I did when I first started. It's not going to be easy, but the more knowledgeable and the more stuff, and I recommend you watching all my videos, the better prepared, and the money and you're going to save and the stuff that you're going to avoid is going to be a lot better for you. So I'll leave you with, order your options, ask the uncomfortable questions, and if they can't give it to you straight, walk away. If you found value in this video, sending it to a friend or a family member who you think would also find value into it would mean the world to me.